Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. We are coming at you with some breaking news regarding your Texas Longhorns as they just gained a commitment from a top offensive lineman in Payton Kirkland. So this Payton Kirkland news, I think, is personally big for Texas because it does make him their highest ranked offensive lineman. And everybody knows they've been bringing in some monsters at the skill positions, headlined by Arch Manning and Jonte Cook, who you think can maybe be a really powerful group on the offensive side of the ball for years to come. And now you see maybe they can start beefing up their offensive line and getting it done in the trenches, maybe where you have not seen Texas thrive exactly for the last handful of years. And honestly, if you're Texas, you're probably stoked about what you see going on with Sark's. Now it's his second year coaching and what he's been able to do with the recruiting. And honestly, the play last year I think was pretty good for the most part. It wasn't wildly consistent, but you saw them play really good games with Oklahoma and even Arkansas, honestly. And those are really good teams. You just maybe couldn't get over the hump. But there's no question what Texas is doing is building up an absolute roster of players. They've now become the fourth highest ranked recruiting class in the 2023 class, and it seems like that is likely going to trend higher. It just like obviously a lot of guys are putting Texas in their top three. They're recruiting the state way better than they were under Tom Herman, and I don't know. I'm really excited about the direction this Texas Longhorn team is going. And in my opinion, as like more of an outsider, I kind of like what you have in Steve Sarkisian over maybe what you had with Tom Herman. Because at the end of the day, Tom Herman never coached anywhere particularly big before he ended up at Texas. Like when you're talking going from Houston to the Longhorns, that's just night and day football wise. And yeah, he was the OC at Ohio State, but like let's be honest, he didn't really have a big hand in building that program. That was Urban Meyer and what Urban Meyer can do at a college program. Not so much Tom Herman. So I think again, it seems like you need some experience managing big programs. And obviously, everyone knows Steve Sarkisian wasn't able to do it at USC. But I think where the optimism comes is he knows essentially what goes on at these power programs. I mean, USC, Texas, giant, like giant fan base is but also like a giant bureaucracy in kind of program itself and the animal those two places can be. So you got to think Sarkisian at least knows where he went wrong at Texas or at USC, I should say, and should be able to fix some of those mistakes and roll it into a Texas program that could be really good. And not to mention, he also went back after his USC trip to Alabama, learned under Nick Saban, who's very clearly the best coach to ever do it. And I don't know. If I'm a Texas fan, I'm really excited about the direction. It just feels like, and yeah, I get it. Like there were years where Tom Herman really recruited well too. I just think Sarkisian, with his background and his experience in kind of his ability to possibly learn from what happened at USC, and whether that means he needs to work harder, whether that means he needs to manage the outside portion of the program better. It just feels like he might have the kind of the cachet to manage what he's got to manage, just because he probably learned so much at USC and how hard it is to be the leader of such a giant program. So I don't know. If I'm a Texas fan, I'm really excited. Obviously, going to the SEC in a little bit, which is naturally, I mean, just more exciting. That Oklahoma, just bigger games week in and week out. The ability to put players on a bigger national stage more consistently, no doubt, it's helping recruiting. And I don't know. I'm just really excited about where this Texas program can go, and I would imagine if you're a fan, you are also very excited. But that'll do it for today. A little bit of a quick one, just announcing the Payton Kirkland news and talking a little bit about where the Texas program could be going.